Fan Yan is a young and charming dubbing actress who goes to an audition with her friends. Yoao and Wei support their friend as she plays the role of the main characters from the fairy tale Sleeping Beauty. The jury is delighted as her timbre of voice and acting are excellent. They ask her to prepare for the second part of the performance by taking a short pause, after which she will return to the stage. At the same time, her competitor and assistant director hints that she has been promised the role. A man makes an excuse that he can't do it as their conversations are being bugged by a producer. This man turns out to be Shi Meng, a major movie producer whose films are known all over the world. He hears Yan's audition and, without seeing the girl, marvels at her beautiful voice. Back at the jury, Yan is ready to continue her performance, but before she starts, an angry girl shows her a snippet from a horror movie. Upon seeing this, Yan recalls painful events from her past and falls into a stupor. Lost in space, she falls and loses consciousness. As it turns out, Yan suffers from a strange disease that appeared 10 years ago. During stress or strong shock, she finds herself in a sleep-like state and can spend up to 10 hours in such a state. Her friends help her to get to a psychiatrist, but on the way she is noticed by Mang, who pays attention to the mysterious beauty. The doctor informs her that the girl needs to fall in love and experience a strong emotional connection, as this can help cure her illness. Her friend decides to find her a fiancé and goes to the concert of famous musician Shi Li, who is Mang's sibling, also present at the event. The lead actor demands a pay raise, but the producer refuses him. The actor is fired and Mang takes the stage to comment on the situation. A female fan douses him with water, but the man shows resilience and deserves applause. It later turns out that the assistant planned everything in advance and the groupie was a fake. Yan turns out to be completely her and gets frightened when she sees the crowd of fans. She falls into a sleepwalking state and steps on the compass, causing her to fall. Mang, who has changed his jacket to one like Li's, is there in time to save the girl. Pressed against him, she falls asleep and a minute later comes out of her stupor, trying to understand who is her savior, but she sees him only from the back. The friend calls a psychiatrist and recounts what happened, realizing that the savior is the right person for Yan. The friend finds photos on the internet and assumes that this person was Li. At the same time, it turns out that the actor is inspired by the girl's voice and dreams of working with her together. Mang also listens to her voice recordings and doesn't notice that it's raining outside. At the same moment, Yan is next to him and saves him from the rain. The girl invites Meng to her friend's music store and offers to buy some records. He doesn't want to listen to his brother's music, so Yan suggests a love romance about fate. Meng is skeptical of fate and only believes in math and calculations. Yan offers a bet as she firmly believes that out of 10 people, at least one couple in love will pass by the store and is willing to give the record for free if it doesn't happen. When 9 lonely people pass by, Meng closes the girl's eyes and opens them only when a couple passes by so that she won't be disappointed and lose faith in fate. After buying a record, he leaves but loses a keychain in the form of a small goose that was given to him and his brother by their late father. Upon meeting Li, Meng gives the music record to his talented brother in crisis, hoping it will help him write a song for a new fairy tale. Also, to persuade Li to cooperate, Meng is going to sign a contract with a dubbing actress whose voice her brother is in love with. The next morning, Yan shows up for a second interview and Yoao recognizes Hao's assistant as his ex, which embarrasses him. Noticing the girlfriends together, Hao is afraid to audition and runs away, so Meng is sent to the girls. Having learned that Yan's friend wanted to pay a bribe, Meng kicks them both out as he is a professional who would never go for such a thing. In turn, Yan turns out to be rude to him, calling Meng an annoying and rude person. A little later, Hao finds a famous dubbing actress with a beautiful voice, but it turns out to be Yan. Meng arrives to make a contract, but the girl is only willing to do so if he and Hao try out for the role of dubbing actors themselves. Imitating the sounds of a eunuch and a drowning man, Hao manages 2 trials, but escapes at the last task. Meng decides to play her part by using Yan to do it, which embarrasses the girl. The third task was the sound of a kiss, but Meng gets out of the situation by using a lollipop in the girl's mouth to do it. At the end of the challenge, Yan agrees to sign a contract only on the condition that she meets with Li. Deciding not to delay, Meng goes home with the girl for her mother's birthday. Caught in an awkward situation, Yan meets the mother of the talented brothers. The woman is jealous of her friends and wants grandchildren, so she asks Yan about everything, dreaming of making her Meng's bride. Soon the girl does meet Li, pleasantly surprised to meet her idol. She is a brilliant dubbing actor and he is happy to communicate, but Yan immediately shocks the musician by telling about her illness. She asks to be together and hug her when she feels bad, but Li rejects the girl, considering her a crazy fan. Frustrated, Yan never signs the contract, not noticing that Meng is jealous of her younger brother. The next morning, Yue pressures Hao to find a way for Yan to be by Li's side. Remembering the brother's mother's request, Hao offers Yan a position as a 24-hour assistant at Li's apartment. The girl agrees and moves into the huge apartment, where she cleans up and prepares to meet the musician. In the evening, she cleans up her bedroom as she suddenly hears a man enter the room and sees her undressing. Yan finds herself in an awkward situation and is shocked to learn that it is not actually the musician's apartment, but Meng's producer. The man is shocked by what happened and calls his mother, finding out that the girl will live with him for 2 months and become his maid for the time being while his mother goes on vacation to another country. Meng is against it, but his mother blackmails him with a baby picture, resulting in him having to agree to her terms. Afterward, he calls Ha, but he excuses himself, saying that the woman made him do it that way. Yan calls her friend to cancel the contract, but in this case she will owe a penalty. The girl carelessly signed the documents and is forced to live with Meng, trying to use the opportunity to get closer to his brother. Youyao goes to Hao's office and avenges the contract by tying him to a chair. Meng imposes conditions on Yan to live together, according to which she must not make noise and get in his face at certain hours, otherwise she will pay a fine for every offense. At night, the man decides to take a shower and accidentally uses the girl's depilatory cream, causing her to lose some of her hair. The next morning, Yan prepares breakfast and a wig for Meng, which angers him even more. A little later, the girl goes to the office of the movie company and signs a contract for the main role to star in a fairy tale together with Li. The famous actress tries to seduce Meng, but he doesn't want to go out with her. When he meets Yan, he uses her as a distraction and pretends she's his girlfriend, then forgives her for the depilation cream situation. Meanwhile, Li visits a psychologist and learns about Li's problem, after which he changes his attitude towards the girl. Hao meets with Yoao to understand why she broke up with him. After learning that she has a son, he assumes that he is his father and takes the boy's hair for DNA analysis. Yan arrives at Li's house to get to know him normally once more. Feeling guilty for his bad attitude, the musician promises the girl to fulfill her 3 wishes. As her first wish, Yan asks for Li's personal autograph, after which he gives her his jacket to keep the girl warm. Upon returning home, she socializes with her friends without noticing that Meng has come home. Yang makes a noise and blows up a clapper, causing Meng to fine her. Unable to get her money back, she decides to earn it by starting live broadcasts for girls learning the art of makeup. She decides to do the first broadcast in the bathroom, but Meng kicks her out to take a shower. Remembering that the camera is on, the girl sneaks into the bathroom and grabs her phone, but finds herself in an awkward situation. Because of the naked man in the footage, Yan's account is blocked, and Meng dreams of getting rid of her. According to the contract, the only way to do this is to make the girl leave of her own accord. In an attempt to accomplish this, Meng tosses cockroaches, a snake, and a toad, but Yan is not at all frightened by this. At night, he puts out the electricity in the apartment and scares the girl with a creepy toy from a horror movie. Strongly frightened, Yan sinks into a sleepwalker's dream, after which he loses consciousness. Realizing that the prank was too cruel, Meng calls the hospital and administers first aid. Before he can attempt CPR, Yan regains consciousness. She doesn't understand why the seizure was so short-lived, but assumes it's because of Li's scent lingering on his jacket. Accidentally washing the clothes, she asks Meng to get the items with his brother's scent on them. Having been refused, the girl turns to a psychologist for help. Soon she and the doctor meet with Li to talk about the problem and ask for his help in solving it. Entering Yan's situation, the musician gives her a wooden harmonica. the first musical instrument he made with his own hands. Having met with friends, Yan rehearses her role, but realizes that she needs to better get into the image of the hero of the fairy tale. To do this, the girl buys and brings home a goose, which angers Mang. After catching the bird, he tries to forgive Yan before the goose goes to the toilet on his shoe. Losing control, Meng kicks the girl and the goose out of the apartment, but soon regrets his decision, realizing that Yan is not allowed to be nervous and feel afraid. As a thank you, the girl gives him back the wooden keychain goose he lost in a music store. Soon Yan has problems again with the goose that has climbed up on the shower room under the ceiling. The couple tries to chase it away as the bird suddenly startles them, resulting in Meng kissing Yan, which causes both of them to become very embarrassed. Meng realizes that he is starting to fall in love with her, but is disappointed knowing that Yan wants to be with his brother. In the morning, Goose has gone to the bathroom to harmonize with Li, and Meng has a fight with Uncle Gu, who gets involved in working on another movie. At the same time, Yang meets with a musician to evaluate his new song. After learning that a goose has ruined a wooden harmonica, Li gives the girl his scarf so that his scent will still always be with her. The director learns of Mr. Goose's interference and quits, leaving the office without informing Mang. The producer can't find the director, so Yan helps him find out that the man is at the train station and wants to leave for his hometown. Trying to stop him, the couple rush to the train station but accidentally hit a dead end. The girl injures her leg, so Meng carries her in his arms to stop the director as soon as possible. The couple manages to persuade him to continue with the movie and take him home for a drink. At night, Meng falls asleep in Yan's arms, and the girl realizes that she has fallen in love with the cruel and rude producer. Upon waking up in the morning, Meng realizes that she was wearing his brother's scarf and is once again jealous of the girl and Li. While Meng walks the goose, the girl decides to clean up the secret room, which turns out to be open. She accidentally breaks a wooden shelving unit and decides to throw it away. Upon returning home, Meng forbids Yang from seeing her brother, explaining that it is urgent filming. After going to the secret room where her missing father's belongings are kept, Meng notices the missing items and yells at the girl for acting recklessly. Discovering that she has thrown away the shelving unit, Meng goes in search of it and calls a trash disposal service to return the furniture. Feeling guilty, Yan also gets involved and then goes to the audition. Meng and Li's father disappeared 20 years ago, so their mother decides to organize a funeral. Li supports his mother, while Meng is sure his father is alive and wants to find him, so the brothers fight. An envious actress lures Yang into a room with skeletons and scares her so that the girl falls into a sleepwalking state. Recognizing the problem, Meng picks her up and carries her to his office. Li's scarf does not help, but the musician comes over and kisses the girl on the forehead, after which she comes to her senses. Believing it to be Li's influence, Yan goes on a karaoke date with him, and Meng gets drunk. Hao supports his comrade and boss in a difficult moment, giving him a couple of useful tips. Upon returning home, Yan notices a drunken Meng and tries to help him to his bed. The alcohol causes Meng to start behaving inappropriately, and in the morning he regrets it and thanks Yan for bringing back the rack of his missing father. Before flying to Iceland, his mother asks Meng to look at Yan and make her his wife. In the evening, the girl goes to a party where they try to make fun of her by making her search for a glass statue in cold water. Meng takes the girl away from the party and terminates her contract with the investor who has stooped to this level. Worried about Yan, the man takes her to the hospital and carefully bandages her arm despite the fact that there's only a small cut. Her friends suspect that her friend has a crush on Meng, but they are afraid to reveal their feelings. Soon Li asks her out on a date and feeds her soup associated with childhood. At the same time, Meng calls her mother to make the same soup. Upon learning that the girl was on a date with his brother, he becomes angry and jealous of her. Yan finds herself in a difficult position as both Li and Meng want to confess their love to her. In the evening, Meng helps Yan wash her hair as the girl's arm is still injured. A little later, the couple rehearses a scene from a future movie and they get hard as they need to confess their love to each other. A couple of days later, Yan goes out with her friends and Wei proves to her through 5 signs that she is really in love with Meng. Dreaming to see if it's mutual, Yan invites the producer to a movie, but he declines. A couple of days later, he changes his mind and agrees to go to the movie theater. Because of work, he is late and the girl goes alone to a horror movie. After learning about this, Yue asks Lee to make sure her friend is okay. Meng hurries to the movie theater but notices the girl in the arms of her brother. In the evening, he is angry and jealous, so he informs her that at the end of the contract she can live separately. Dreaming of something completely different, she goes for a night out and realizes that she should date Lee to get rid of her illness, but she finds it hard because of her love for Meng. After returning home, Meng can't sleep as she is jealous and loves the girl. At the same time, she is sad as she feels that she doesn't need Meng. Realizing that there are only 2 days before the departure, Yan decides to make them perfect. She makes breakfast in the morning and offers to count the fines in the evening. When she learns that Meng has been properly left behind, she asks for the next 24 hours in lieu of money. The next morning, the couple goes to the park to go rollerblading. Yan doesn't know how to do it, but Meng helps her, causing the couple to experience the best date of their lives. Meanwhile, Yuliao goes to camp with her son, who is sad about not having a father. Hao arrives to help the boy out and support Yoao, who he is in love with despite the fact that they were in a relationship 10 years ago. In the evening, Yan thanks Meng for a wonderful day and, after a few drinks, decides to kiss him. At night upon returning home, Yoao chases Hao away, saying that he is not his son and she loves the boy's real father. Yan lures Meng to a gazebo on the water, where the couple promises to meet each other when the first snow falls. At exactly midnight, she wishes Meng a happy birthday, and upon returning home, they part ways as their contract has expired. For the next few days, Meng is completely depressed and cannot work. The only consolation for the man becomes a computer application with a white goose, which reminds him of Yan. At the same time, Lee tries in every possible way to entertain the girl and bring her out of her depression. Fans recognize them and the couple has to hide in a cafe. When Lee sings a romantic song, Yan thinks only of Meng and she becomes even sadder. Soon the news that Yan and Lee are dating appears on the internet, which disappoints Meng and jeopardizes his reputation as a musician. Hao and Meng go to the nearest bar to have a drink due to homesickness and depression. Hao advises his boss to confess his love to Yang as soon as possible before it's too late, since Lee is always around and she could be his girlfriend at any moment. Showing the right way, Hao asks him to call Yoao and tell him that he's at the bar and has had a few too many drinks. Despite his rudeness, Yoao arrives at the bar to show concern and help the drunken Hao. Seeing the first snow, Yan and Meng dream of writing to each other, but are too afraid to get into their personal lives without knowing if their love is mutual. The next morning, Lee brings a girl to the ceremony, but Meng is jealous, not allowing them to be near each other. Afraid to confess his love, he asks Yan to come home and be his nanny, but this only angers the girl. Wei realizes that Meng is in love with her and together with Ha, helps the producer. In the evening, Wei reports that the goose has disappeared and under this pretext organizes a date for Yan and Meng. During the walk, Meng shows the girl the stars, and Wei and Hao help create a romantic atmosphere with artificial snow. Meng finally decides to confess his love to Yan, but she rejects the man, believing that only lie will help her recover. Painfully taking the rejection, Meng becomes depressed, shouting and snapping at her subordinates, not wanting to listen to anyone. Yang cries all night, but believes that she did the right thing, because she wants to get well. After meeting with the psychologist and Lee, she falls into hypnosis. The doctor asks her to find a savior, but she passes Lee by. The psychologist suggests that the couple get to know each other better, so they go to an orphanage to throw a party for the children, where Lee confesses that his parents adopted him. In the evening, Hao calls Yan to inform him that Meng has been in a car accident, and the doctor informs him that he was unable to save him. Seeing a man on a gurney, Yan assumes it's Meng. Fearing it's too late, the girl begs him to come back to life and confesses that she's in love with him and rejected him out of stupidity. Meng hears this, as his injury was less serious and he was just in a different office. Realizing that their feelings were mutual, Meng kissed the girl in front of his brother, realizing he was unnecessary. Taking Yan's hand with his injured hand, the producer did not let her go. He not only took the girl to his home, but also let her sleep next to him so that they would never part again. Before going to bed, Mang confessed that when he was 8 years old he was kidnapped and at the same time his father disappeared, but he was not alone in captivity, but with a little girl. After turning into a romantic couple, Mang and Yan go to the market to buy groceries and make dumplings. Today is a special holiday, so Hao comes to Yoao and Sun's house to make dumplings. Despite the family atmosphere, Yoao chases Hao away, but he has no intention of giving up. Meanwhile, Meng and Yan have a perfect day and end it by taking a boat ride on a lake with lights like it's a starry night sky. Left alone, Yoao remembers how she and Hao were a couple in love in the past. They were about to get married and everything seemed fine, but one day she saw him in a room with another girl and thought Hao had cheated on her. Since that time, Yoao has not trusted the man and is afraid that he will betray her again. After spending 2 days with Meng, Yan returns home and fights with her friend because Yoao wants her to date Li, who can heal her. At the same time, Li learns from the psychologist why the girl considers him her savior. Revisiting the CCTV cameras, he learns that she was hugged by Meng that day and he is her destiny. After reconciling with her friend, Yan picks out clothes to wear to a restaurant and goes on a date with Meng. At one point she falls into a sleepwalking state and Meng tries to help her wake up. Li shows up at the restaurant and relates the details of the girl's illness, claiming that he is the only one who can help Yan. Waking up, the girl is shocked because she was not nervous and does not understand how she found herself in a dream state. Later it becomes clear that Li used hypnosis to put the girl in this state and be there at the right moment. He manipulates her illness in order to be there for her and break his brother's heart. The next morning, Meng and Yan go to a movie, after which the man declares that they need to break up. He pretends to play with her feelings, but really he's just sacrificing love so that Yan can be near Li and be able to heal from her illness. In the evening, Meng visits his brother and tells him that he is ready to give up Yan so that she can be healthy and happy. Remembering happy moments, Yan and Meng cry because they sincerely love each other but cannot be together. The next morning the girl goes to work and notices Meng accompanied by an unfamiliar beauty. She assumes that this is his new love, not realizing that it is Uncle Gu's daughter Kuai. Angry, Yan accidentally deletes Meng's cell phone number, causing her to cry even harder. Meanwhile, Kuai tries to get the man's attention as she doesn't want to be a childhood friend like before. The girl deletes the Goose app from Meng's computer, which angers him. The man kicks Kuai out, and the angry girl offers her a plan for revenge against Yan. To do this, the girl uses virtual reality glasses and a scary movie that plunges Yan into a state of sleepwalking. After learning about what happened, Meng takes the girl he loves to Li and next to him she wakes up. An angry actress takes pictures of the couple and publishes the photos on the internet. Li's reputation is jeopardized, so it is important to decide whether to announce his relationship with Yan publicly or deny it. Assuming that the love story of the two lead actors will help Meng's movie, Yan declares that she is ready for a public relationship with his brother. Amid the latest developments, Meng and Li fight again as the producer believes that the brother is trying to use Yan and manipulate her decision. A little later, the musician suggests that the girl move into his house as his aggressive fans could hurt her. After learning that the fans vandalized the door to Yoe's apartment, the girl agrees to Li's proposal and occupies Meng's former bedroom. In the evening, she finds his childhood album where he described the kidnapping situation, and the story seems suspiciously familiar to Yang. Meng is very nervous and afraid to leave Yan alone, so she sleeps in a car under the house. In the morning, hearing the girl screaming, he rushes inside and finds out that she'd hurt herself by breaking a carafe of water. Soon the package is sent to her, but Meng does not allow her to see its contents, lest the girl become sleepwalking. There was a bloody hand in the box, and the producer wants to know who the sender is. A little later, his assistant comes to Li's house, but it turns out that she is a deranged fan, and she is the one who sent the box with the hand as a threat. Kay wants to take Yan's life, but Meng comes to the rescue in time and saves her from the knife. Kay decides to set the house on fire to keep Yan away from the musician, but Meng declares that he and Yan love each other. In an attempt to prove his words, Meng and Yan kiss passionately. At the same time, Lee returns home and the police arrive, arresting Kay. Yan realizes that their feelings with Meng are still alive as he saved her in an emergency. In the evening upon returning home, Lee finds Yan's goodbye note. A couple hours later, she arrives and the couple have a romantic dinner, followed by passionate kissing. When Lee hears the doorbell ring, he realizes that it's just a dream and Meng is on his doorstep. The brothers agree to live in the same house on the condition that Lee has only a month to fall in love with Yang or get away from her forever. All this time, Meng is forced to stay out of their way, but he's also not going to distance himself from the girl he loves in order to be with her every minute. The next morning, Lee moves into Meng's house and Yan thinks this is the perfect opportunity to reconcile the brothers. Yan wants to kiss Meng, but he avoids her so as not to violate the terms of his agreement with his brother. In the evening, the trio watch a movie, but Yan gets scared and hugs Meng. Attempts to switch places and trick the girl do not work, because she trusts only the man she loves. After learning from Hao about Meng's tastes, Yan makes cosplay of famous girls, but he laughs it off, for Meng loves her real self, not pretend. The next day, Yan asks Lee to scare her, but he doesn't succeed. Soon after, the couple almost gets into a car accident, and the girl slips into a sleepwalking state. After delivering Yan to her brother, Lee confesses that her savior is actually Meng, not him. Feeling guilty, the brother leaves and Yan and Meng realize that nothing else will get in the way of their happiness. An envious Kuai sees the couple and goes to see her old friend Yoao. During their conversation, she reveals that Hao never cheated on her and they broke up for nothing, as well as revealing that Yoao's son is adopted. Lee decides to leave his brother's house, but Yan stops him and asks him to stay late for dinner. Soon it is revealed that Yoao's son has run away after learning the truth that she is not his birth mother. All the friends go in search of the boy and only Lee guesses that the child is hidden under the bed. They socialize and Meng accidentally overhears that his brother was also a foster child. The next morning, Lee repents to Yan, but the good-natured girl forgives him. Soon Yoao's son comes to visit and entrusts Meng and his brother with the responsible task of incubating a bird egg. The next day, Meng and Lee take care of the egg as if it were a child, which causes them to fight a lot. After learning about the disappearance of Meng and the brother's father, Yan decides to organize their meeting at the place where they were in their childhood. Not far from the playground, the pair find the abandoned house where Meng was held. Yan remembers that she was the second person kidnapped, but they managed to escape. It was Meng's hug that comforted her, which is why he has such an effect on her. However, at some point the children were separated and Yan saw something scary, but she doesn't recall that detail yet. Lee doesn't show up for the meeting and it seems suspicious. Yan remembers the kidnapper's name and calls him Mengu. The next morning he goes to the office of his missing father, recognized as deceased, as there is to be an election for a new CEO. Meng expects to take the position, but Lee goes over to Mr. Gu's side, making him the CEO. After learning of all this, Yan goes in search of the missing Meng, but meets Lee, who has betrayed his brother. Despite his nefarious deed, Lee promises to help find Meng, and the couple announces their engagement. 3 days later, Lee and Yan prepare for the wedding, not realizing that Meng is among the guests. The girl is very nervous and, to calm herself down, imagines her brother in Lee's place. Hao tries to disrupt the wedding and proposes to Yoao, but Mr. Gu does not let him spoil the celebration. Lee tries to put on the engagement ring, but Yan gets flustered and walks away. At one point, she almost falls off the runway, but Meng appears and picks her up and hugs the girl, disrupting the wedding. Meng is fired, so the couple learns frugal living and buys groceries at the market. Soon the brothers meet and it becomes clear that everything that is happening is their plan to expose Gu. As it turns out, he was the one who kidnapped Meng and Yan 20 years ago to blackmail the boy's father and demand he cover up his fraud. Lee plays out the scene in front of Gu as if his brother has obtained evidence against the culprit. Gu's uncle follows Meng and attacks him, but Lee saves his brother. They call the police and expose Gu, but he blackmails the brothers with the news that he managed to kidnap Yan, and now her life is in danger. Gu doesn't reveal the girl's location, so the brothers have to split up and go in search of her. Meng finds Yan, but she is frightened by a scary mask and falls into the water in a sleepwalking state. Meng manages to save his beloved, after which he learns that 20 years ago, Uncle Gu took his father's life and Yan saw it all. Having discovered the body of his late father, the family holds a dignified funeral. A short while later, Meng becomes chairman of the company, and Hao takes his place and proposes to Yoao to be his wife. Meng is in no hurry to become Yan's husband and makes her very upset, but soon it becomes clear that he was preparing a surprise, and when that day came, the girl agreed to become his wife. Despite the happy marriage, she is offended by the fact that the brothers have become friends and spend too much time together, sometimes not paying attention to Yan at all.